Welcome to the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks. We're Jim and Joe, lifelong friends, lifelong fans, bringing you fan-driven sports talk the way real fans do. No overpaid experts, no scripted analysis, just honest takes on the games, players, and the big stories shaping sports right now.
And we want you to be a part of it too. Thank you for joining us again everywhere. Emergency Saturday morning episode. You got to love it. Please drop your comments, questions, and takes. We'll read them all. We will bring them into future shows. So please hit like, subscribe, and join our conversation every week on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you listen. We're everywhere.
Whew. Yeah, here we are. I'm everywhere. I'm on the road again, down in Milledgeville, Georgia.
On the road again.
With my son Teddy. I'm actually in his fraternity house. If you hear noise in the background, it is 9:56 a.m. So I think I've already heard a few beer cans being popped. And talking about things shaping sports right now, that's called basketball. That's what we're talking about. That's what this show's about. That's why this is an emergency episode to get right to it. So I'm going to get Teddy to hop in. We've got a lot to talk about. Recap Thursday, Friday's games. Talk about the Elite Eight games coming up today and tomorrow. So let's get right to it. Teddy's going to hop in a second, and we'll get going right off the bat.
We'll really? Another show with TNT Teddy?
Yeah. It's another show.
There he is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jim. How's it going?
Hey,
morning,
good,
Dad.
great, grand, wonderful.
Good morning.
Good. I'm happy to be back on.
Yeah, we were just telling everyone that this is an emergency Saturday morning episode because we've got games from Thursday and Friday. We got to recap. And then, of course, the Elite Eight starting today and tomorrow. We're not going to talk about anything else than basketball. So without further ado, let's get into it. I think we should probably just run through what happened. We did have some picks on the record, so we can quickly review a couple comments, and then we'll get to the Elite Eight. I'm going to start with the Texas-Purdue matchup.
Couldn't believe how Texas almost pulled it off. Whew.
Yeah, that was
really good game. I'm pretty shocked that Texas didn't have their center in within the last possession because Chekhov Moran had a wide open tip in to win the game because Texas had no size in the paint. I was a little shocked by that. I liked Purdue to win that game, but Texas spread I think was really free. But yeah, Texas had a great run, but I think Purdue was just a little too big for them. But yeah, great game.
I couldn't remember the last time I saw the words. They won it on a putback. What a tough way to lose.
Good tip in. It's very interesting, too. 75 of Purdue's 79 points were by veterans. They are a veteran team, and not saying they didn't probably panic a little bit, but they pulled it out. That's all you got to do, right? What were our picks, Jim?
We had, for the Texas-Purdue game, all three of us got that correct.
Of course, we did.
I thought Teddy was leaning for the burnt orange, but
I would love for them to win, but with my wallet, I was betting with Purdue. So
there you go. That's the best way to bet.
Yeah,
I'm going to follow you more.
Yeah.
Another good game. Number 4 Nebraska, number 9 Iowa. What happened? Ooh.
Go ahead, Teddy.
In my opinion, this was a great Big Ten basketball game. I mean, it was kind of exactly how I expected the game to go. Obviously, I picked Iowa. I've got a lot of knowledge up here. Bennett Sturts is great. I think Ben McCollum is one of the hottest coaches in the country right now. If Bill Self ever leaves, I hope we give Ben McCollum a rank because he is unbelievable. But, I liked Iowa, and obviously they looked pretty good. I was very, very intrigued by Iowa, so I'm happy they pulled it out.
Nebraska pulled off the worst 4 on the floor I've ever seen. Oh,
that was brutal.
It was brutal.
That was brutal. I heard there were some comments like the referee should have called something or blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm sorry. The penalty in football is too many men on the field. There's not such a penalty for not enough men on the field. And that goes true for basketball too. Sometimes the refs will say, hey, you only got 4 men, but what a terrible time for that. Listen, after beating Florida, I kind of expected there to be a drop off, a letdown game. Not going to happen. 10-point deficit. Iowa went on a 20-9 run in the final minutes to win that game. So I wouldn't want to play them right now.
No, that's a great point. When it matters, Iowa seems to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, I agree. What were the picks?
We had Teddy was the only one to get that right. Joe, you and I, we really shucked on that pick.
Well, that's why we have Teddy on. Apparently, he's got some knowledge that we don't, and I proudly admit that. Yeah.
I do want to add too.
Right.
Real quick. Bennett Sturks, Iowa's best player, has played every single second for Iowa. He has 0 fouls and 1 turnover.
Wow.
About that for a second. He's played every second of the tournament. 0 fouls, 1 turnover. That's the kind of point guard you need to bring you to the Elite Eight.
Totally better be listening to Teddy.
Yes,
I mean, length is always good, and length is important, and size and all that. But man, guard play this time of year is probably, if I had to choose one thing, that may be it. Let's move on to the next game. We got Illinois, Houston.
Yeah, this was, I think, my first miss of the Sweet 16. I loved Houston all year. Illinois really surprised me. They looked really good. Houston looked awful. Kind of a total 180 of how I expected that game to go. But Illinois is hot right now. They looked really good. But yeah, very disappointed in Houston. I thought Kelvin Sampson would have, showed a little bit more fight with this team. But yeah, Illinois looked great, and they deserve to be in the Elite Eight for sure.
And on that pick, we had you did miss the Houston one. That is your first X, and Joe picked Houston. I picked Illinois. So
nice.
I guess
yeah. Let's follow. I just start following Jim from now on.
No, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like his, putting. If it goes in, it's lucky. Hey, I was kind of shocked. This is a 2-3 matchup. I was really surprised, man. The 65-55, that was really kind of a low defensive battle, I'm sure. I think it was more of offensive sucking, but a 17-0 run in the second half will usually cost you the game. And Houston had no answer for that, and that was the coup de grace, as they say. That was
Houston would cut it to like 9, 8, 10 even, and then Illinois would come down and hit like 2 threes, and then they'd be back up to 16, 15. They couldn't really get past that 8-point deficit, and yeah, they could not put the ball in the basket, man. It was a sad sight to see for sure. But
yeah, it was kind of frustrating. I mean, I wasn't really pulling for either team, but it was kind of frustrating just putting yourself in a fan's shoes and like, oh my God, come on, man. Well, and then the last game from Thursday, Arizona, number 1 Arizona, number 4 Arkansas. What do you got, Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said Arizona would win by 15, 20 points, and that's exactly what happened. Arkansas is great. Darius Acuff is so good. But at the end of the day, I don't think his supporting cast is good enough to beat a team like Arizona. I've been saying it all year. Arizona is easily the best team in the country by a mile. They're really, really good, obviously. And, 25-point game against Arkansas, that's a really, really good win. I don't see them losing to anybody throughout the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, they are solid. And we can bask in the glory, gentlemen. All 3 of us picked the Wildcats. So,
hey, well, I'm going to continue to pick the Wildcats, not only on this show, but in my bracket. I think Arizona looks so good, man. I mean, when you can shoot 64% from the field, and you haven't trailed, not even by a point, not even 2-0 to start a game. You haven't trailed yet in this tournament. A lot of people like Arizona. Well, they're delivering. And so until I don't know who's going to beat them, and I know I'd hate to look ahead and all that because we got some great matchups coming up today and tomorrow. But, wow, they look great.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, well, let's move on. There was some great games yesterday. I happen to have the luxury and the joy of being down here with Teddy, my son here, and Kyle. We were in a room last night watching all these games on 4 different TVs. Should have had a picture of the setup they got down here. I don't like the way this is scheduled. I know they probably have to, but you got 2 and 2, 7-ish and 10-ish games going on. But we had the setup last night to watch them all, so it was great. Let's start with the big one, St. John's Duke. That was a great game.
Yeah. I really loved St. John's spread. I wasn't really necessarily favoring them to win outright. I still like Duke, I guess, but they kept it close. I think they could have shot a little bit better, but I think the refs kind of won Duke that game, to be honest with you. They shot, I think, 15 to 20 more free throws than St. John's did.
Yeah.
But they showed fight. I mean, I love Rick. He's, obviously a Hall of Fame coach, but I wish it was the game ended a little bit differently. I wish St. John's was advancing, but I guess got to give credit where credit's due. Duke played good enough to advance to the Elite Eight.
I agree about the officiating very much. But they had a chance to hit the three at the very end,
Yeah,
and it was just a little bit wide left.
Yeah,
that was a terrible shot. I mean, that's probably not the guy you want taking that shot. I mean, maybe an offhand layup might have been the shot, but no, that wasn't the shot. I don't know if he just thought the clock was running out or something. But Isaiah Evans for Duke, 25 points. I mean, I'm sure if I'm a Duke fan, I'm like, what do you mean? All those calls were fouls. Every time I watch Duke, and I'm sure it's coming from my heart, not my head. It just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like they get the calls, man. Arms straight up, sitting there, and there's fouls called. I mean, it didn't help, the situation, obviously. But Duke's not, for number one team all year or most of the year, Duke's not really impressing me. They struggled in the first round, and this game, St. John's is good, but I don't know. We'll see.
I agree with you there. A lot of moving screens there for Mr. Boozer that weren't called. He kept doing it the whole game. I kept going, this officiating is kind of starting to get to me from my heart, not my head. Didn't like seeing that.
I know. And there is a disparity. I mean, when you look at free throws, and I'm not an expert, but it seemed like a 2-to-1 free throw shooting fest. And when Boozer just comes barreling down the middle of the paint and,
throwing the shoulder.
When you're running into defenders and their feet might have, it's just kind of tough, but that's why he had 20 points, 10 rebounds. He's, that's why is who he is. So we'll see. But let's move on. Alabama, Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, this was another, I think, pretty easy read. I had a lot of people say Alabama's going to win this game. I just thought that was pretty much impossible. This is kind of the same thing like Arkansas, Arizona in a way where LeBaron Philon had 35 points, which is incredible, but they still lost by 15-plus points. So it's kind of the same thing. I think Michigan's just too lengthy. They're too big. And when Ellie Cadeau plays good for Michigan, they are really, really hard to beat. But Michigan's not going to get there. Again, I'm going to say this again because their guard play is just too inconsistent. They're going to lose to maybe even Tennessee possibly. I don't think so. But when they run into a team like Arizona, they're just not going to be a good match for them at all. But they looked actually really good against Alabama. They put up 90-plus points. They looked great. And, I think they have a really good shot at beating Tennessee in the Elite Eight.
I thought Cadeau was clutch.
He played really good.
And I'm not too sure he might be ready to rise right now. I like their chances against Tennessee for sure. And I'm not sure if I mentioned the picks for St. John's Duke, but Joe and I had Duke, and Teddy, you did go out on a limb for St. John's. Yeah. And then for Michigan, Alabama, Joe, you went on the limb for Bama, and Teddy, you and I picked Michigan. It looked to me, the last thing I'll say is it looked to me like in the second half, Alabama completely ran out of gas.
I agree.
I mean,
because I think they lack the firepower. I mean, LeBaron's great, but Ari Allen, Latrell Whiteside, they're not good enough to really take over a game when LeBaron's not really hitting. So, I mean, Michigan, when you play a team like that, you can't really run out of juice in the middle of the second half. It's just not going to win you games.
And Michigan's defense was clutch.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Defense.
I mean, when you could, Lindenborg had 23-12. I mean, when the guard play for Michigan is good, they are hard to beat. I mean, Cadeau putting up 17, 7 assists. Well, it's 20. That's a lot of points. 34 points if you want to add it all up, and it's 5 rebounds. I mean, he had a great game, and that just added to they're really their dominance, because Alabama, who I thought would just outscore Michigan, but that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't going to happen. All right, let's move on to another one. Listen, Tennessee, Iowa State. That's Tennessee keeps winning.
Yeah, they do. I've had a 4-leg parlay both days. I went 3 for 4 on both days, and it was the last game of the night that sold my 4-leg each game. Houston and Iowa State. I was very disappointed in Iowa State. My Big 12 conference isn't really pulling out for me, minus Arizona. But Iowa State is statistically a top 5, one of the worst free throw shooting teams in the country, and that really showed last
Oh
night.
my God! Yeah,
I was
it was.
I was utterly shocked at how many missed free throws they missed. But Tennessee looked really good. I think they had over 25 to 30 more rebounds than Iowa State, something crazy like that. And you are never going to win a college basketball game when you get out rebounded like that. And Iowa State just could not make anything. And they really, really missed Josh Jefferson last game. But yeah, Tennessee looked good, and they definitely deserve to advance to the Elite Eight. All credit to them.
Well, if you look at our picks for this game, it looks like we won it tic-tac-toe. X, X, X. Put the line through it. And this is the third straight. Yeah, we all struck out on this one. This is the third straight Final Four for Rick Barnes. I mean, third straight Elite Eight for Rick Barnes. And then, has Tennessee ever made it to the Final Four?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Look out. This could be the year.
Volunteers could do it. We'll see.
Could be the year when you get out rebounded, as Teddy said, 43-22. And we were watching this late into the evening, watching every time an Iowa State player trying to come back, 7-point lead, 8-point lead from Tennessee, trying to come back, and you go to the line, shooting 2 in most cases. It wasn't even the front ends, and you make 1 or none. It was, wow, how frustrating were those free throws, man. It was terrible. And, kudos to Tennessee. Most of the time they were fouling the 51% free throw shooter.
Which is half the team. Yeah. So, I mean, they just got to pick.
Yeah. Well, which is half the team, right? Pick your poison. It's embarrassing. Hey, listen, I know, Rick Barry had to shoot it underhanded, Shaq and people playing basketball their whole lives. There are some bad free throw shooters. But exactly, when half your team can't shoot free throws, in a close game, you are really handcuffed, man. And that was awful to watch. Embarrassing, really. Yeah. Terrible.
I agree.
Michigan State, UConn, good game. I predicted a low-scoring game in this one. I think it delivered. Yes. So Teddy, what you got on that one?
I mean, yeah, another great, northern matchup. I think they're very even. I think UConn has a little bit better guard play, and I think that really showed last night. And I think Terrace Reed is just a little bit too big for Michigan's bigs. And at the end of the day, that's really going to prevail. And I thought it was going to be a close game, but I thought UConn would kind of pull it out, and that's pretty much exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Agreed. We had Teddy picking UConn, Joe picked UConn, and I picked Tom Izzo, and I came really close.
You did.
Doggone it.
That was a great game. Great game.
It was a great game. I mean, 19-point lead. Didn't lose that lead, Hubert Davis, but you did let him sneak back in to make it closer than it should have been. But Hurley, been there, done that. Unlike a coach that I know, didn't let it happen. Tom Izzo pulls that little, coiled little notebook out of his back pocket. It's got a little notes on it. He flips it over, blows off some dust on it, pulls out some plays he used to run in 1958. Trying everything in his power, but it was hard to look at his eye. I mean, hey, listen, I've had a sty and stuff in my eye, but I'm sure that was distracting to the team in the final huddles as you're trying to figure out what to do, and you're looking at Tom Izzo's eye, oozing pus and stuff. So it's probably a distraction. That's what I'm.
Yeah, they were saying, don't look at his eye.
Don't look.
That's where they would look.
Don't look at his eye. Yeah, no, but you couldn't help it. Yeah. So, anyways, that was a great. I think we hit them all, and I think that was some really good games in there. I'm really looking forward to this afternoon, this evening, and tomorrow. Let's just get started with, in no particular order, number 9, Iowa, and number 3, Illinois.
Yeah, in my opinion, for these four games, I think there's really only four ways or one way you can look at each game. I absolutely love Illinois in this spot. I think they're way too big for Iowa, and this probably, in my opinion, is gonna be the best team Iowa's played. I think Illinois might be a little bit better than Florida right now. They're really hot, and even though I've been loving Iowa the whole tournament, obviously I picked them in the Sweet 16, but I think Illinois is going to win this game.
I'm going to agree with you, Teddy. See, I can be agreeable.
Yeah,
That's all I got. I like Illinois a lot.
smart man.
Well,
I said on the
listen,
last show, look out for them.
when you have a conference with 4 of the 8 teams in it, congratulations to the Big Ten. This will be the third time in tournament history ever, third time, that 2 teams from the same conference will battle in an Elite Eight game. Again, could have been 2 others. So it's pretty impressive. I think Illinois is kind of a sneaky, not sneaky. They're number 3 seed, but they're just not getting the love that maybe they should be getting. And I think Cinderella story comes to an end as well. So I'm put me down for Illinois. I won't be shocked if Iowa pulls it out somehow, just because they've beaten some Goliaths already. But we'll see. Next game, Purdue, Arizona.
Yeah, this is going to be the best team Arizona has played all season, obviously. Not all season, but in the tournament specifically. I mean, I don't think there's really anything else to say besides Arizona. Just give me the Wildcats. But I think it might be a little bit closer than people think because Purdue is playing pretty good. They're not playing too bad. So and I think Purdue matches up pretty well with Arizona. So I think they'll show a little bit of fight here and there, but there's no other answer but the Wildcats for me.
I'm going to agree with you again, Teddy.
Yep.
It's an agreeable Saturday. Wildcats.
Wait, you're going out on a limb and predicting number 1 seed Arizona? I got it.
That's how I roll.
Well, I don't think anyone has said. I think all of us are predicting Arizona probably to win. I know I'm predicting them to win it all, so of course they're going to win this game. A nice side story I'm going to keep my eye on is senior guard Braden Smith. No, he does not have 8 years of eligibility like some players who are on the verge of breaking the all-time NCAA career assist record with 1,076. Woo! As a side note, who holds that right now? Bobby Hurley. So,
wow,
interesting. We'll see, because I'm going to watch. Braden Smith's actually fun to watch too, so we'll see what happens.
So everybody's got Arizona, correct?
Absolutely. Let's go to Tennessee, Michigan.
Yeah, I just gave both these teams a lot of praise, but I don't see a world where Michigan doesn't win this game. I'll keep it short and sweet. Give me the Wolverines here.
That was short and sweet. Almost caught me off guard. And I'm coming from the heart, wanting to pick Michigan, and I'm going to stick with it. Go with the Wolverines on that for me.
It's good. You said you got caught off guard. Well, that's what it's going to take for Tennessee to win. Michigan's guards to be off. So if the guard play of Michigan is, I'm not going to say not good. It would have to be poor, in my opinion. So it's all going to come down to that. I think they won't play poorly, and so I think Michigan wins too. Michigan's one of the teams that can compete with Tennessee down low, and so I think it'll be a good game. But I think Michigan will win this game. And then saving the best for last, accidentally, UConn Duke. I loved Hurley's comments after the game last night. He didn't, they always usually duck that. Well, you're playing next. It's like, okay, one game at a time. He was like, oh yeah, it's Duke UConn. Looking forward to it. Blah blah blah. So I'm looking forward to that game too. I think the whole country is. Other than people that, live in a little area in North Carolina, I think the whole country's rooting for UConn, in my opinion. Dan Hurley's fun to look. He's a fun guy. I'll tell you what, Dan Hurley if he can win out, and I don't want to jump ahead. I mean, can you imagine winning your third title in 4 years with different players? That would be unbelievable.
Yeah, it'd be really impressive, and this is a great blue blood matchup. Yeah, I agree with what you said. I think this is going to be the best game of the Elite Eight, or it definitely has the potential to be. I think UConn is just a little bit too inconsistent at times. I think they've had some shaky games throughout the season. I think they looked pretty good last night overall. But I think Duke is just a little bit too good, a little bit too good defensively, and it grosses me out to say it because I don't like Duke either. But I'm going to take the Blue Devils to advance to the Final Four.
Yeah, I'm going to have Duke as well. Once again, Boozer is going to find that way to throw that shoulder and get in the lane, moving screens, not get called, and Duke will find a way to win.
Sounds like a good game, Jim. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to it.
I'm picking UConn. I think Karaban and Reed Jr. in the paint. I think they're not going to stop Boozer, but I think they'll make it more difficult. I don't think Duke's playing, very well consistently either. Caleb Foster, 11 points with a broken foot, but I like UConn in this game. I think they'll keep it kind of low scoring or do their best. And, as good as Boozer is, if they need some points, I guess Duke has some players to do it. But I'm going to watch you. Hey, listen, I think if Duke would have played second the late game last night, I think UConn wouldn't have seen that Duke won and wouldn't have been looking forward or ahead to playing Duke last night. I literally think that affected them a little bit. And so I think this is a matchup they really want. I think Duke will be ready, but I think UConn will be more ready to win this game.
Yeah, I want to add too. This is actually a pretty funny statistic, but every single time Duke has beaten St. John's in a tournament, they have went on to win the Natty, which is a very crazy stat.
Wow.
But will that happen this year? Maybe it'll be broken, which I hope it does with Arizona. But I think a Duke Arizona Natty, I think would feed a lot of families. So that'll be a great matchup. But yeah, a lot of really good games in the Elite Eight. All these games have the potential to be really good. But we're really looking forward to the slate. Really excited for it.
Me too.
Me too. And for all of our picks, I love it. Joe went out on a limb to pick UConn. So out of all of our picks, that's the do or die, whether you can get a point back on us for the first picks that we went over earlier. But I like UConn's chances too. And like you just said, Joe, there's a little part of North Carolina where, they're rooting for Duke. But I think the rest of the country is rooting for UConn.
Hey, listen, everyone knows where I stand. I was just saying this last night. Jon Scheyer is, and this is, he's a good guy. I don't know. I have any reason to say Jon Scheyer's not a great guy, but he's kind of like a kid that got born into, his dad. It's like Jeff Bezos' kid. He kind of got handed this Ferrari, and he's kept it going. Kudos to him, and all that, but. He hasn't won a ship yet. I just want to see him get a little bit more uncomfortable, And, all these other coaches are walking around. Rick Pitino has a $4,000 suit on. Everybody, Alabama's, coats and ties and all that. And here's Jon Scheyer with a Target quarter zip, with Duke on it. Come on, dress up. You're the CEO of a company. Let's go. But, oh, well. No, it's good. Just remember Sunday's games start early. So, tomorrow night and then Sunday afternoon. It'll be a great Sunday afternoon. And I can't wait to watch it. But that's it for this episode of the Undrafted Armchair Quarterbacks with Jim and Joe and Teddy. Thanks for checking us out and hanging with us for some real fan-driven sports talk.
And please don't forget, your comments are always a part of the show. Drop them below. We'll read them and feature them in future shows. Please hit like, subscribe, and join us every week right here for free on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. And thank you, Teddy, for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
TNT.
Pleasure to be on.
Teddy, real quick, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. It's just my name, Teddy Toth. Super straight and simple.
Awesome. All right. Well, we will check out these games, and we'll see you next week with our recaps and our Final Four predictions. Take care. Have a good weekend.
And it's tea time.
Love
Not
it.
that kind of tea.
On the way to the course right now. We got to go. We're on the way to the course. See you later.
Yeah. Bye.